my YouTube dudes, and welcome back to the hottest channel on YouTube. Today is Sunday, you know what that means, it's meal prep day. So this week what we're getting ready to do is a Spanish dish called ropa vieja, and that means old ass clothes in Spanish. That's a Cuban dish, so what you're gonna need is 4.5 pounds of chicken breast, and we're gonna cut the fat off of the chicken breast first. Before we mess with the chicken, you wanna make sure that you have 2 quarts of water and you have it boiling on the back. Have that first, because the water's gonna take a little bit of time to boil. Make sure that your dog is not messing with you when you're trying to film. And then we're just gonna cut the fat off and then cut it into slices and then dunk it in the water. All right guys, and when you cut in this chicken, just make sure that for the most part it's not frozen. This one, I didn't leave it out for too long, so it's, some parts are still a little bit frozen, but if you're messing with the chicken and it's frozen, you can potentially cut yourself. Another thing that's smart to do is, as you can see, this cutting board is red. We have color-coded cutting boards. The red one we just use for meat, the green one we use for vegetables, and then we have another orange one that we use for fruits, because you don't want the fruits tasting like onions and you don't want all that stuff messing with the meat. So that's just what we do, guys. I'm just kind of giving you advice on what we do, because you don't want your meats to be touching with your fruits, and then you don't want the fruits to taste like garlic. So now that we have all the fat cut off of the chicken breast, all we're gonna do is cut it into 3s, guys. So have it long ways, and then all you wanna do is cut it into 3s, and that's it. We're gonna throw this into the boiling water. All right guys, so we have the chicken cubed up into 3s. Next thing we're gonna do is add it into the boiling water. I pre-prepped the boiling water, 2 quarts of it. So now we're just gonna dump it in there. And be careful guys, don't burn your shit, because you might, don't let this splatter all over the place. Be gentle with it, because you don't want it to boil over and splash you in the hands. It's gonna mess up your day. We're gonna keep this in here boiling for about 30 minutes or until the chicken is cooked fully, and then we're gonna take it out and we're gonna shred it. All right guys, next thing we're gonna do is cut up all the vegetables and have everything prepared so we can just dump everything in and get everything cooking all at once. So what you're gonna need is 1 whole onion, 1 bell pepper, 2 to 4 cloves of garlic. You wanna make sure that if they're really big like this one, you just do maybe 1 or 2. And 2 jalapenos. If you have work tomorrow, be careful, maybe just add 1 jalapeno, test it guys. I don't know if you watched the other video, but this shit is spicy. So if you have work tomorrow, be careful, because you might have to call in sick. Next thing guys, if you watch my videos, you already know, I love cilantro. I can damn near smoke this shit, I love it so much. So we're gonna cut up half of this for our salad, and we're gonna cut up the other half of this for this particular meal. All right guys, so we have all of our vegetables nice and cubed up. The next thing we're gonna do is make a tomato paste. The original recipe for ropa vieja, you have to use tomato paste, which is the little Heinz tomato can. That has a lot of ingredients that I personally don't like. It has a lot of added preservatives, and a lot of things that I personally don't like to use in my recipes. So what we're gonna do is have 4 Roma tomatoes, and we're gonna puree these. If you don't have a food processor like the one we got in the back,
or Roman,
it's okay. You just wanna cube it up as fine as possible. But if you don't have one, it's perfectly fine, guys. So 4 of these in the food processor or cube them up. And you wanna make sure that you cut the tops off, because if not, I don't know, if you personally like to eat this shit, by all means eat it. I don't like to eat it. It looks like a freaking
nipple.
It looks like some type of 3rd nipple, so let's not yet. I don't like to eat it. All right guys, so we just pureed the tomatoes, so we're gonna put these to a side. The chicken is done. It's only been in there for honestly about 15 minutes, but since we cubed it up into 3s, they cook really quickly. So we're just gonna dump the water out, add cold water to it, let it sit for about 10 minutes until it's nice and cool, and then we're gonna just rip it up. Alright guys, so our chicken has properly cooled. Just make sure, it's only taking about 5 or 10 minutes to properly cool. When you put cold water in it, just make sure that the chicken is not hot, because when you start touching it, you will burn yourself. So what you want to do is just rip up the chicken, and it has fibers, the muscle fibers. Just rip it long ways into just maybe 1/4 inch strips. And once we have all the chicken stripped up, which may take about 10 or 15 minutes to do, depending on how much chicken you have, then we can start to work on our sofrito. All right guys, so we just finished shredding the chicken, and Abel and I are gonna get ready to cook the chicken now. And this is what it has to look like. All right guys, so the next thing we're gonna do is get our sofrito going. So our sofrito is all of our vegetables that we cut up previously, and we're just gonna saute it. And I know there's gonna be Spanish people out there, Cuban people out there that are watching this video 99% of them are my family that are gonna be like, what in the world are you telling these people? This is not a sofrito, this is not how you do it. But guys, we're eating healthy, this is how I do it. It's a little bit different, this is a remix on the traditional dish. This is not the traditional dish. This is how I eat it because I like to eat healthy. So the first thing we're gonna do is add coconut oil, and we're just gonna spray the pan a little bit, and then add all of our vegetables directly in. So we're just gonna mix this around and get everything real nice and incorporated. The next thing we're gonna do is add all of our spices. This is all of the spices that I usually use in all the videos I make. Chopped onion, cumin, crushed pepper, garlic, oregano, and onion powder. It's a half of a teaspoon of each. So just incorporate that in there and stir it. And while you're stirring this shit, guys, please be careful if you got jalapenos, because this is some pepper spray shit, steam coming up off of this thing. And if you are
oh my god, I'm dying.
If you're too close, you're gonna burn your fucking eyebrows off. so just be careful, guys. Alright guys, now that our pepper spray concoction has melted down, we're gonna add the chicken. So just take the chicken, add it directly to the peppers. Next thing we're gonna do is just stir, incorporate everything together. Alright guys, now that we have everything mixed, the next thing we're gonna do is add our tomato puree. We're just gonna add it straight to the pan, mix it up, and then we're gonna top this off and let it simmer for about 15 minutes or so. The next thing we're gonna do is add olives. I personally love olives. I love black olives. I like purple olives. I like green olives. I like black olives. I like all kind of olives. If you personally don't like olives, you don't have to add this to the dish. This does add a little bit of salt to it, so be careful. Don't add too many of them because you don't want the meal to be overly salty. The next thing I do is add raisins. And for all of my people out there that are like, what in the world are you doing? Don't add raisins, you're gonna mess up all the friggin' chicken. No, this is traditional for us Cuban people to add raisins to our dishes. This is going to naturally enhance all the flavors that are within the chicken, all the natural salts that the meat has, as opposed to adding artificial salt and adding outside salt to the dish. So this is really gonna help enhance all the flavors and make everything really flow well with the dish. Give this a little mix, top it, let it simmer for about 10 more minutes, and then you're good to go. You can cut it off, and then you can start meal prepping. Okay, so we have all the food cooked. Typically, I like to use white rice as my carb for this meal, but since we had a bunch of potatoes that Jade's mom gave to us, shout out Jade's mom, she gave us a bunch of golden potatoes, so that's what we're using for this week. And we microwave the potatoes using this Potato Express. This is really handy. You can get this at Walmart. It's fairly cheap, and it makes the potatoes in about 8 minutes. So now that we have all of the potatoes in the containers, these are 2 medium to small potatoes per each meal. Now all we're gonna do is distribute our ropa vieja chicken into each one of these meals. And like I said in my previous videos, this doesn't have to be exact. Each day you're gonna have a little, if you have a little bit more or a little bit less, it's not gonna hurt your diet. Unless you're on a strict prep for a competition where you have to have every single thing weighed out. If that's not your scenario, then you're perfectly okay with just adding a decent amount of chicken to each meal. And my dudes, excuse the wooden countertop. We a little bit ghetto in here, you know what I'm saying? But we just got this kitchen. We just finished the kitchen. We literally just installed these, the kitchen island. So the next thing we're gonna do is put the countertops. So excuse us if we're doing some kind of ghetto cooking today, but hey, you gotta work with what you got, guys. That's exactly what I say in every single video. You gotta do what you can at the time being. So we've got all our meals nice and prepped. I do like to add beans to every single meal I eat. This is extremely crucial, guys. The beans have a lot of protein and a lot of essential nutrients that really help you build a lot of muscle. So this is just optional. If you don't like beans, you don't have to add beans, but if you do like beans, you can be real creative with the beans. I like pinto, I like all kind of beans, guys. I'm Spanish, I like all kind of beans. I personally like red beans and pinto beans the most, so that's what I tend to use, but it's good to mix it up every once in a while. So I just add about a half a cup to 3/4 of a cup beans to each one of my meals. And then after that, we are done and we're good to go. We can close this up, and this is gonna be our lunch for every single day for the next 7 to 8 days. Alright my dude, so we successfully completed another day of meal prepping. This is gonna last us for the next week. So every Sunday I'm gonna be launching a meal prep video. So stay tuned, please comment below. Let me know what you think about the meals once you prepare them. If you have any suggestions for future videos, please comment below. Please share the video with everyone, subscribe, and more than everything, stay watching my friends.